Hi, this is Kitty Boitnott of Teachers in Transition, both the podcast and the YouTube channel, and I hope you're doing well today. Thank you for stopping by. Today is episode 4 of Teachers in Transition. This is a new project that I have just begun, and I'm pairing the YouTube channel with the podcast so that the information will be the same whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on the podcast. Today, I want to share with you a couple of tools that I think might be useful for you if you are feeling overly stressed, if you're going through a rough period in your life and you're dealing with more than the average amount of stress. And if you're not sure whether you're dealing with more than the average amount of stress, I have a tool for you that you might find useful. I would invite you to download it at bit.ly/stress tool. And now, of course, you would put in the http://. And the bit.ly is spelled bit.ly/stress tool. Just like it sounds, stress tool. When you click on that, you will be taken to a page where you'll be asked for an email address and your name, and then you can download a 32-question questionnaire that is designed to help you to determine where are you on the stress spectrum. There's a continuum. And I've mentioned in the first episode on stress that we all deal with stress every day. Because of the nature of life, we are dealing with stress to a certain extent. And even good stress, the stress that comes with planning a wedding or planning for a new baby or planning graduation or getting ready for starting a new job. All of those things are happy events that we look forward to and we anticipate, but they're still stressful because often they bring unknown elements into our lives and we're not quite sure how all of it will play out. And so we're a little bit anxious and stressed, but it's an excited kind of stress. And then on the opposite end of that spectrum is the sense of loss from perhaps the death of a loved one or the breakup of an important relationship, a divorce, a custody battle with an ex. Those events are not fun, and they can cause heartbreak and disappointment and a sense of sort of not knowing when this episode is going to ever be over so that you can move on and get on with your life. So it goes from one end of the spectrum to the other. This 32-question questionnaire is designed to help you determine, are you experiencing normal, quote unquote, a normal level of stress, or are you in the overwhelmed, overloaded, stressed out category? Now, the way I offer this assessment is if you answer 10 or fewer of the questions on the questionnaire, yes, but all the other answers are no's or mostly no's. You might have a few maybes in there, but not many, I hope. Then you're average. You're pretty much average. Like I said, everybody's going to be experiencing something. On the other hand, if you come up with 11 to 15 or 15 to 20 or even 20 to 25 yeses, the higher you go up in the number of yeses, the more stressed you are. I have had people, when I do this workshop on stress management and I offer this assessment, I have had people, almost in every workshop I've ever done, I had at least one person who scored a 25. And that means they're overwhelmed. A few people will have 10 or fewer. Most everybody else seems to fall between 11 and 20, but that's still too many. And as I've mentioned in a previous, I think it was episode 2 when I was talking about stress, the fact of the matter is stress gone unchecked will make you sick. And so you need to be aware of where you are on the continuum, so that if you are well above 15 or 20 yeses on that stress tool, you need to start getting some help from somewhere. Either from this little book I offered, the Stressed, Stretched, and Just Plain Overwhelmed ebook that offers some strategies for managing your stress on a day-to-day level basis, or going to get help from your physician, a therapist, somebody who can, your priest even, a minister, somebody that you can talk freely with. Talking out what's bothering you is a tremendous help, and it can be a great relief just to recognize as you talk it out that, maybe this isn't all quite as bad as you've built it up in your head. Maybe it's worse, who knows? And then you really need to find resources to help you. But you've got to figure it out so that you're not carrying this burden around in your head and on your heart every day. So take this stress assessment tool, bit.ly/stress tool, and see where you are on the continuum. And then feel free to download as well the at teachersinTransition.com ebook, the book on stress management. And start there with trying to figure out where you are on the stress continuum. If you're within quote unquote normal range, but you don't feel like things are okay, then you still need to pay attention to your feelings. But if you feel like, oh, yeah, you're doing okay, maybe the questionnaire will offer an affirmation of that. And if you feel like you're just hanging on by your fingernails, the questionnaire may affirm that as well, and may affirm that it's time for you to find somebody that can offer you the help that you need. So I want to just make those two offers to you today in this particular episode about stress management and how to assess the level of your stress at this point in your life. Wherever you may be, younger worker, middle-aged worker, veteran worker, about to retire. Each stage of life brings along with it its own set of challenges. And one of the things that can help us to view challenges in a more affirmative light is to think of them not so much as challenges, but as opportunities. The fact of the matter is, though, if you feel like you are having trouble coping, you're having trouble sleeping because you're worried about something has you fretting for much of the day, and it goes into your evening hours and keeps you from getting the sleep that you need, then you start to set yourself up for getting ill, and you don't want that. If you've already been diagnosed with a particular disorder like fibromyalgia or rheumatoid arthritis or diabetes or any number, high blood pressure, any number of issues that are exacerbated by stress, then you certainly need to get help sooner rather than later so that your health situation doesn't get any worse. The American Medical Association has pointed out that over 40% of American adults, are suffering from some stress-related illness or ailment, not necessarily an ailment, or an illness, but an ailment of some sort. And that can be diabetes, high blood pressure, migraines, rheumatoid arthritis flare-ups, lupus flare-ups, those kinds of things. The American Medical Association also says that between 75 and 90% of all visits to our primary care physicians are related to a stress-related complaint. Now think about that for a minute. So if we were doing a better job of managing our stress, perhaps we would be taking some positive action toward addressing the healthcare crisis in our country. And we definitely have a crisis. So keep those statistics in mind and understand that you may well be part of the 40% who already has an ailment that needs treatment. And the next time you go to the doctor, or think about the last time you went to the doctor, was it something that could have been triggered by a stress-related event? Chances are that it was. So download the two. I will put the links to the two resources in the notes. Download them and feel free to use them at your leisure. They're free for you. Feel free to share them. And please do feel free to subscribe to both the YouTube channel, Teachers in Transition, and the podcast, Teachers in Transition, so that you can either watch or listen as you prefer. Some people prefer YouTube, other people prefer the podcast. So you get to choose. The information will be the same, just the delivery will be a little bit different. Do subscribe to each and send me your comments and thoughts about what kinds of things you would like me to cover. What kinds of questions do you have about both stress-related illnesses and situations and career transition, because I help with both. And I've been working with burnt-out teachers and mid-career professionals for the last 6 years, helping them figure out what it is that they want to do next in their lives and how to use the tools that will help them get there, as well as working with their stress and getting their stress under control. So that's it for today. Thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you next time.